Hello and welcome, I am Raziel, and so today I'm doing the 5 scariest models, and this is going to be kind of part lore, part what the model looks like, and that's basically it. So, like I said yesterday, fear is absolutely subjective. It's what you might find scary, I might not find scary, and what I find terrifying, you might find humorous. It's a very subjective thing. Now, some of these are lore-based, some of these are model-based, and some are a bit of a deeper look at why I think they're terrifying. But overall, these are like ones that I would consider scary models within ranges. And the first one is with Judge Dredd, and it has to be Judge Death. Judge Death is a fantastic character in general. He is terrifying. He's possessed the Joker in a crossover, which was one of the best versions of the Joker I've ever seen. And I like this model as well, because it looks so weird. His face is almost normal, but distorted at the same time. He's got too many teeth, but it kind of looks normal. It's that offsetting sort of appeal. The wing bird on his, shoulder pad, it gives that very normal, almost, he looks like a judge, but it's when it takes that closer look, it just distorts whatever a judge is. And this is what makes this model particularly frightening within the context of Judge Dredd. Like, it's just a really nice model as well. I like how Death is on his badge, and I think he's really cool. I was gonna for Judge Dredd, it's always gonna be Judge Death because he's one of my favourite characters. The dead judges are really cool. So the thing is, not only does that make him scary, it's his whole thing. He thinks killing everyone is the right thing to do. This twisted morality on the law. He believes killing everything is the right thing. It's because only the living can commit crimes, so the biggest crime of all is to be alive. And the sentence for being alive is death. That makes him terrifying. The fact that he actually thinks he's right as well is another terrifying aspect of him. This is a lovely looking model for Judge Dredd, and again, I just love his pose, his maniacal pose, his teeth, but even the helmet's amazing, and all the extra gubbins to give him that sort of goth, frightening look. Really nice model, and I really can't say much about Judge Death, but that is like my favourite scary model for Judge Dredd. Next, I'm going to go to Mantic. Now, I didn't do Mantic in my scariest factions video because Mantic, when it comes to scares, kind of deserves its own thing. Because while Kings of War is incredibly light-hearted as a fantasy, it does have some dark aspects. As you can see with the Night Stalker Shadowhawk, Hulk. It's a very nice model. I really do like this one. Again, it's very twisted. It's like that shark head here, instead of a normal head, the lack of eyes or too many eyes, either way it's not good. It's terribly frightening. The mouth, it's a twisted, deformed model, hiding, this aspect of a face. It's beyond Uncanny Valley. It's terrifying. All those teeth and, just the size of them also makes it a terrifying model. And again, this is such another lovely model from Kings of War, and it's a nice model. But I've got to say, the teeth here, it's just freaky. As I said before, it's either got no eyes or too many eyes, depends on how you wish to paint it. It's just a really freaky model. It's something that it demands a closer look to see how weird and scary it is. At first, you could just think these are club arms, this basic mutation. But once, like I said, you take a look closer, you see, in fact, there is teeth. You can see his body has been patched together as well. It's just these little hints here, and the scarring here that he's been built, and there's a backbone in the top of his head. These fine little details that make him a little bit more terrifying, a little bit more weird. And of course, the size helps a lot when you would face this on the battlefield, making this a very terrifying model. Now, the next one's going to be a little bit controversial. It's the Restless Knight Archeon, whatever you want to call it, right? First things first, I could have chosen lots of models from Warhammer 40k. I could have chosen the Greater Demons, But if I was just to go through big and scary, yeah, that's kind of a very shallow way of looking at this. And I could have gone with other models as well, other knights, but I've got to say, I could have gone with a Chaos Knight, but again, it's big, spiky, and scary. That's the intention of it. But I have to go with the Cerastus Archeron. It's going to sound weird, but please follow me through this. The biggest reason of this is the face here. There's loads of reasons, but I won't go through the biggest one now. But this one, the face here is completely covered up, and it doesn't even look human. It looks robotic and absolutely emotionless. It's something that is going to terrify anyone that looked at you through a window. To be fair, you'd probably be on the 50th floor, and it'd be looking at you anyway, at that height, but it's the face and how it's mostly covered up compared to other knights, where they might have no helmet or it's a full face, but this has enough of its face showing off to really hit that uncanny valley and make it a little more freaky. The next, and I think this is what makes it particularly terrifying compared to other knights, is the weapons. Other knights have swords, shields, thermoplasters. This is one of the few that has a chainsword. Yes, many have chainswords, they have the big ones, but this is a double chainsword, and the heavy flamers. Now, the reason I particularly think these are scary is because these are not pleasant ways to die. This will just literally tear you apart, not cut you cleanly like a sword, but literally tear you apart in two places rather than the one Reaper chainsword. And burning to death in Prometheum is also very painful. And not only that, you've got heavy bolters there, which will just blast you apart while you're being torn apart. So it's a very messy and horrific way of dying, and if people witness that will probably piss their pants. And then, of course, being burnt alive at the same time. Again, not very nice ways to go, and especially very bad for those watching their comrades die this way. It's a nice model as well, I've got to say. But yeah, the Cerastus Knight is, to me, a very terrifying model for Warhammer 40k / Horus Heresy. Next is the Fallen Divinity. This is a lovely model. I will not say anything bad about this model. It's absolutely lovely. And again, it's got the height, which is going to make it scary, but it's this contrast that it's good and bad. You've got the angelic bird wing and the bat wing. You got the, subtle, sexy, feminine look, yet you have the ribs showing through, almost a parody on, the beauty of very thin women. And once again, we see very little of a face except the mouth. And then, of course, the feet end kind of weird as well. Like, they're not normal feet. This is one of those models the reason I enjoy this model so much is because it's, once again, when you look a little bit more, it reveals a little bit more of its terror. And it just does it so well. And I think, again, this is just a lovely model, and I do enjoy it. But I do like the contrast between the actual wings here, and one is the arm, and not the actual. I think one's the arm. It's just like this, and it's not even any guts in there or any bit. That's a skeletal body. That's the as you can see the spine there. And more you look into it, a little bit more scary it gets. And then you've got the two dogs here. And once again, more you look into them, a little bit more scary it gets. And this is a very wonderful model. Finally, because I've got to do Wild West Exodus in everything I do, it's a creepy one, Legendary Marie Laveau. This is a very cool model. It's very frightening. It's a legendary model of Marie Laveau. But yeah, this is another model which is absolutely fantastic. It's basically Ursula. And I just noticed this guy literally being killed here. And it's kind of weird because the way she's looking at him, it's not even looking like, she's not even registering that he's human. It looks like a curious look on this person. She was once human, turned into this by the Hex, and when she sees a human that she's literally murdering right in front of her, well, of course it's going to be right in front of her, and yeah, it's just weird. You've got the 4 tits here, which again kind of is weird. And it's disturbing. The entire face has changed. She's no longer a human face. All human aspects are literally disappearing or being exaggerated to a ridiculous effect to try and look sexy, like to try and entice people. I love the tongue here, the suckers, and It's a nice model. It's obviously very close to being like the Kraken, sort of that look. The Sea Witch of Ariel and the Little Mermaid. I love this lovely staff here. This is a cool looking staff. And I think this is a great model. These are the 5 scary models that I picked. There are other scary models, but I picked these 4 as my first 5 because there's a little bit more than just being big and scary. It's the little things that can also help. And I was just meant to mention, like, we got these here, these little bumps around the boobs and the nipples. That kind of adds a little bit more because it looks like she's diseased as well. It doesn't look right. It looks wrong, and that's what makes this model so good. Everything looks wrong. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you all have a good day, and see you in the next one. And have a good day. Just have a good day, I think. Of course, there's a link to Wayland Games down below if you wish to save money on your wargaming. I put all the normal prices up, except on Judge Dredd, up as normal, so you know how much money you're actually saving if you go to Wayland Games, and free delivery after £20. There is also Forbidden Planet for comics, DVDs, mangas. There is, what else is there? My comics, my merchandise, Skyforge. Never forget Skyforge and Patreon because business. Bye bye.